I feel like this is a deep take, but let's do it. Um, a lot of times I've been in relationships, right, and I've been told I'm insecure. I think a lot of people have been told that they're insecure in relationships. But let's break that on down. You know what I'm saying? Then bust it, round it down. Um, I think when someone says you're insecure, then you have to really dissect where the insecurity is coming from. And a lot of our insecurities come from our inner child who's crying out, who probably didn't get enough attention, or the inner child that is scared and in fear of abandonment, or sometimes the child that is anxious, or the child that, didn't get enough attention or had to, you know, uh, dismiss themselves, instead of being reactional. The way that insecurity is tied to our inner child and the unhealed versions of ourselves is unavoidably deep. And if you really break it down and think about how many people were raised by, like, in some intense situations without parents, with abusive parents, with one parent, by their grandparents in foster homes, studies show 50% of America is secure. And that's still a lot of people. But going back to how many people were really raised in a home that was like loving or, all the way securely attached. Well, I made this post anyways just to say, first of all, don't beat yourself up for being insecure. That's a normal thing. The question is, how do we do daily practices to overcome the insecurity and heal that insecurity? And truly, insecurities never really go away. We just learn how to manage them by not feeding them, by not giving them the attention, by shrinking them down, figuring out which way you are an attached individual. So for me personally, where does the insecurity come from, right? Fear of not being good enough, fear of loss, fear of the what ifs, fear of the unknown. Because at some point in our lives, we were in fear as a kid. We didn't receive something. Maybe we were without, we were scared. Maybe we were smothered in a unhealthy way. But I really just made this post to say insecurities are normal. It's nothing to be ashamed of. A lot of times in partnerships, your partner can be, well, first of all, your partner can have an expectation of you, right? And then second of all, your partner may be more secure in certain areas because they had a different upbringing than you, which is why I always go back to saying couples therapy. I've dated a secure partner. We had minor insecurities. It just depends on the dynamic of how we all grew up, that inner child. I think the first step is just seeing which type of attachment style you have, getting the necessary therapy, and then learning how to communicate who you truly are and your fears and your understandings in a certain way that's conducive to the person that you're with. Which goes back to understanding why people say you should take your time when dating. Like, a lot of times we rush into something so serious without even without doing the practices that it takes to have a secure relationship with ourselves, so we can regulate ourselves first and then regulate with the person that we're with too. It's your inner child, their inner child. So like I said, I just made this post to say, don't beat yourself up over your insecurities. Understand your insecurities. Make sure you express those to your partner beforehand. Do the self work, do the shadow work to get there. Understand you will overcome this and you will be good for somebody. Love y'all. Yeah.